I've lived long enough to go through multiple economic downturns when money's hard to come by. I started this business in April of 2001, and I chose to call it Be Your Own VC because that's what I had to do. I didn't have the option of raising money. There was no money available. It was right after the dot-com collapse and then 9/11. There was nobody funding tech companies, or if they were, you had to be something ridiculously special. So at the time, I didn't even know what a venture capitalist was, what a VC was. But I went to my dad and was like, how do we do this? And he said, look, there's a playbook that we run, and we don't go raise a lot of money. We don't go burn a lot of cash. You've got to learn this the hard way. I definitely wanted to send a strong message that I believe more people can be their own VC than they're willing to admit, right? It appears, because there's so many announcements about companies investing millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars in a new idea, that is the only way to start a business or to start an effort inside of a large company. And the reality is that some of the largest companies on the planet and some of the biggest initiatives on the planet were bootstrapped. And that's pretty amazing to me. And so I think that there needed to be a playbook on how we've been able to do this here. And I think it's a useful set of tools that aren't taught enough. There's a great education on accounting and finance and IT and HR and all the mechanics of business, but the actual act of starting one and then funding one, they would talk about leveraging everything, so using a lot of debt. And I actually speak about how to avoid using a lot of debt. They would talk about fundraising and that effort. And there's a lot of focus on preparing your pitch deck to raise money. And when you bootstrap, that's really not how it goes. It's a very different playbook. And so that's why I think it's a useful set of skills. And we happen to be right now in a very turbulent economic time where funding is getting harder and harder to come by, as it does every 10 years or so. And so it's a good time to remind ourselves that it's a great time to bootstrap. And the skills can be really useful, and it can allow anybody at any company to innovate, whether they're a team lead at a large insurance company or whether they're a venture capitalist who needs their investments to actually run off of their A round because they can't go to a B or C round. So you got to stretch that A round longer. They can change their operating model from a high growth, high cash burn operating model to a lower growth, either zero cash burn, where it self-funds itself company that can actually survive the downturn. It doesn't have to shut down. It really is a practical option for them.